Vonzell Johnson is not a name casual boxing fans hear often, but among serious fighters and trainers, his opinions carry weight. Having spent years inside the ring and the gym, Johnson understands boxing from the inside out. The discipline, the sacrifice, and the mindset required to be great. When Vonzell Johnson was asked to reveal his favorite boxers of all time, his list wasn't about popularity or hype. It was about skill, heart, intelligence, and the ability to rise under pressure. These are the fighters Johnson believes represent boxing at its highest level. 1. Mike Tyson. For Vonzell Johnson, Mike Tyson represents the most terrifying version of boxing ever witnessed. Johnson has often spoken about Tyson's presence long before the opening bell, describing how opponents were already defeated mentally before the first punch was thrown. Tyson's explosive speed combined with his devastating power made him unlike any heavyweight before or after. Johnson admired how Tyson closed distance instantly, slipping punches with subtle head movement and firing compact hooks that ended fights in seconds. What impressed him most was Tyson's discipline during his prime years. When he followed Cus D'Amato's philosophy with near-religious devotion. Johnson believed Tyson wasn't just strong, he was precise, calculated, and brutally efficient. Every movement served a purpose. To Johnson, Tyson showed that aggression, when controlled and refined, could become a form of art. Even though Tyson's career had ups and downs, Johnson feels that Tyson at his peak redefined fear in boxing and set a standard for what raw dominance truly looks like. 2. Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson is viewed by Vonzell Johnson as the ultimate blueprint for boxing greatness. Johnson often described Robinson as the most complete fighter to ever live, a rare combination of speed, power, footwork, and intelligence. What separated Robinson in Johnson's eyes was his adaptability. He could outbox slick fighters, overpower tough opponents, and adjust mid-fight without panic. Johnson admired Robinson's balance, noting how every punch flowed naturally from his stance, allowing him to attack and defend seamlessly. Robinson wasn't reckless, but he wasn't cautious either. He fought with confidence rooted in preparation. Johnson believed Robinson could succeed in any era, under any rules, because his fundamentals were flawless. Beyond technique, Robinson's longevity and willingness to face elite competition repeatedly earned Johnson's deepest respect. To him, Robinson embodied what boxing was always meant to be: skillful, dangerous, and fearless. 3. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Vonzell Johnson respects Floyd Mayweather Jr. not for flash, but for discipline and control. He often points out that Mayweather mastered the mental side of boxing better than anyone. Johnson admired how Floyd studied opponents obsessively, identifying patterns and weaknesses long before fight night. In the ring, Mayweather's ability to neutralize dangerous fighters without taking unnecessary risks impressed Johnson deeply. He believed Floyd turned defense into a weapon, frustrating opponents until they abandoned strategy and made mistakes. Johnson also respected Floyd's consistency. Decade after decade, he showed up in elite condition and performed under immense pressure. To Johnson, Mayweather proved that intelligence and preparation can overcome raw power. While critics focused on entertainment value, Johnson saw mastery, patience, and a deep understanding of the sport. 4. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali earned Johnson's admiration for more than just his boxing ability. Johnson saw Ali as a fighter who thrived in chaos and pressure. Ali's footwork, reflexes, and timing allowed him to dominate larger, stronger opponents while absorbing minimal damage. Johnson admired Ali's confidence, noting that it wasn't arrogance, it was belief backed by skill. Ali's willingness to fight the toughest competition during boxing's golden era showed courage Johnson deeply respected. Even later in his career, when speed faded, Ali's heart and intelligence kept him competitive. To Johnson, Ali proved that boxing is as much about mind and spirit as it is about physical ability. 5. Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker stood out to Vonzell Johnson as one of the purest technicians in boxing history. Johnson admired Whitaker's defense, footwork, and ability to control distance without relying on power. What impressed Johnson most was how Whitaker made elite opponents look ordinary, causing frustration through subtle movements and precise counters. Whitaker never panicked, even when under pressure, and Johnson believed that calmness separated great fighters from good ones. He often described Whitaker as a master of angles, someone who understood positioning better than almost anyone. For Johnson, Whitaker proved that intelligence, timing, and defense could dominate even the most aggressive opponents. 6. Thomas Hearns. Thomas Hearns earned Johnson's respect for his rare physical gifts and lethal execution. Johnson admired how Hearns used his height and reach to control fights, keeping opponents at the end of devastating straight punches. Hearns' right hand, in Johnson's view, was one of the most dangerous weapons in boxing history. What impressed Johnson most was Hearns' willingness to engage despite his advantages. Rather than fighting cautiously, Hearns often chose to exchange, leading to some of boxing's most dramatic moments. Johnson believed Hearns embodied courage and confidence, never shying away from risk. 7. Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler represented discipline and toughness to Vonzell Johnson. Johnson respected Hagler's relentless work ethic and refusal to be distracted by fame or comfort. Hagler trained harder than anyone and fought with controlled aggression, switching stances effortlessly and applying constant pressure. Johnson admired Hagler's mental toughness, especially his ability to stay focused in long, grueling fights. To Johnson, Hagler showed that greatness is built in the gym long before fight night. His seriousness and professionalism made him a model fighter. 8. Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard impressed Johnson with his intelligence and adaptability. Johnson admired Leonard's ability to change styles depending on the opponent, shifting from boxer to aggressor seamlessly. Leonard's timing, speed, and confidence under pressure stood out. Johnson often highlighted Leonard's courage, especially his willingness to take risks in major fights. To him, Leonard combined athleticism with a sharp boxing mind, making him one of the most dangerous fighters of his era.
Roberto Dern. Roberto Dern earned Johnson's respect for his ferocity and technical mastery on the inside. Johnson admired how Dern imposed his will physically and mentally, breaking opponents down through relentless pressure. What impressed Johnson most was Dern's ring IQ, his ability to slip punches, counter, and control exchanges at close range. Dern wasn't just aggressive, he was calculated. Johnson believed Dern's toughness and pride made him one of boxing's most intimidating competitors. 10. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. rounded out Johnson's list as a symbol of endurance and heart. Johnson admired Chavez's ability to absorb punishment and keep moving forward without losing technique. Chavez's pressure style, body punching, and relentless pace impressed Johnson deeply. What stood out most was Chavez's mental toughness. He never appeared discouraged, no matter the situation. Johnson believed Chavez wore opponents down physically and psychologically, proving that persistence and conditioning can break even the most skilled fighters. Vonzell Johnson's list of favorite boxers reflects a fighter's understanding of greatness. These men weren't just champions, they were masters of discipline, intelligence, and mental strength. Through Johnson's eyes, boxing greatness isn't measured by popularity, but by the ability to control a fight, overcome adversity, and leave a lasting mark on the sport.